We are now on the second module of Introduction to Online Opportunities, the roadmap to success. So there are four learning types, the reading or writing learners. So these are the people who learn best when you guessed it, reading and writing, interacting with text is more powerful for them than hearing or seeing images. So usually they are those who loves to write or create stories and compose essays and other sorts of learning that requires reading and writing. So their tactics is give these kinds of learnings, written quizzes that give them a chance to write down what they have learned, present them with annotated handouts of your presentation so they can read along with you. So there are some people who learn, especially in the classroom, they can learn easily, or they can conceive um, ideas easily when it is written or whatever the instructor says. They write it, and while they're writing it, their minds are working. And there's another learning type, the visual learners. Usually, those people who are visual learners prefer to see info and to visualize the relationships between ideas. And these people usually are into visual arts or artists who can easily perceive images and can easily memorize something when they just look into a picture. So mostly these visual learners have a photographic memory. So when you give them visuals, they can easily memorize or imprint in their minds the images that was shown to them. Their tactics is to give them charts and graphics, make your presentation highly visual and show the relationships between your various points. So another learning types are the auditory learners. So people that are more into hearing, they prefer to hear info rather than reading it or seeing it displayed visually. So some people are good in auditory learnings. They don't look at someone who is speaking, or for example, there's a video, they don't watch it, but they can easily perceive, they can easily imagine and understand what they have heard. So auditory learners like to recite information out aloud to remember it. Give them a chance to repeat your points back to you by asking questions and calling for audience answers. So there is also the so-called kinesthetic learners. So kinesthetic learners are hands-on, experiential learnings. They learn best by doing it. So some people can easily understand or can easily remember something if they usually do it. So they are doing it in actual or the real life experiences. So their tactics is to sprinkle a few exercises that get your audience to stand up and move around in order to demonstrate or experience certain points like role playing. And you can also ask kinesthetic learners who write things down in order to remember. So they're more on actions. And do you know that there are 8 multiple intelligences? So according to Howard Gardner's theory, he's a Harvard professor. There are those linguists. So these are the people who can um, easily memorize different languages, and they're good in speaking or a conversationalists. And there are the naturalists, that means that they're natural geniuses. And there are people who are good in music or rhythmic. And kinesthetics, as we have learned, kinesthetics is more on actions. So maybe they're more into sports or um, like also in dancing. So this is also an example of kinesthetics and other action role performances. Then the visuals or spatial, usually these are those artists. And logical or mathematical, these are people that are more into logic, reasoning, and numbers. Interpersonal, when you say interpersonal, they are good into uh, interpersonal intelligence is the ability to understand and interact effectively with others. And it involves effective verbal and non-verbal communication, the ability to note distinctions among others, and sensitivity to the moods and temperaments of others, and the ability to entertain multiple perspectives. So, and another intelligence is the intrapersonal intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence is the capacity to explore one's inner world and feelings. This type of intelligence can help a person focus on planning and managing their life. Please take note that children with high interpersonal intelligence potential have an idea of what they want to achieve and how they can achieve it. Then there's the so-called existential. So existential intelligence involves an individual ability to use collective values and intuition to understand others and the world around them. People who excel in this intelligence typically are able to see the big picture. So you know now the differences between interpersonal, intrapersonal, and existential. Usually those people who take psychology courses are into this. And next is why determine your zone of genius? How does it help us in going to the world of online opportunities? Each one of us own our gift and others work, but um, you may be having fun being you. And money motivates other people, but maybe not you. Why is it important to determine what you're passionate about? So when you add passion, purpose, prosperity, it composes yourself or it composes you. Life is not all about us, and it's about what we are willing to do, learn, and give so that others can feel you exist and is making a difference. Are you ready to give it a try? Okay, so there's a difference between dream and goals. So dream big, set goals, take actions. So between dream and goals, in dreaming, think things you think of doing or having. So in goals are those things you are willing to act on. So dreaming is just in your mind, but goals is you are about to act or if you're willing to do it. Okay, dreams happens when you're asleep or daydreaming, while goals happens when you're awake and you're conscious. Okay, dreams are free, goals have costs. Dreams don't produce results because you're just dreaming without acting, and goals produces results. Dreams are just imaginary, so you can imagine things that will not actually happen to you, but in goals, it is based on reality. So in goals, you do it because you know that it will happen if you act. Okay, so dreams don't have a finish line. Goals, it is time bound. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but it will happen in the future. So dreams don't need focus, just thoughts, and goals needs focus. And dreams requires imagination, while goals requires hard work. Dreams stretches your imagination, while goals stretches you. And dreams inspire people. goals can change people's lives. So dreams exist in your thoughts alone, while goals it is in writing, and you have possible evidence that you have done. Dreams backed up with nothing but just imagination, but goals backed up with plans. Okay, so it all starts with a need and or dream. And if you wanted to be an artist, a teacher, a writer, athlete, pilot, speaker, influencer, entrepreneur, and others, why don't you start having a goal and not a dream? Okay, so smart goals, we should have a smart goals. There's the so-called short-term goals, which is 6 to 12 months. And the reason we are discussing this now because you have to write your smart goals and you have to set your goals um, in um, in a sheet or written in a sheet. Okay, so another smart goal is the medium term goals, which is 2 to 5 years. So think of a goal that you wanted to do and will happen in 2 to 5 years. Then there is the long term goals, which is I think this is your mission or you wanted to do or your plans that you wanted to do in the future and you think that it is impossible to happen in just a short period of time like uh, up to 5 years but your goal is within 10 years you can do it or you can achieve it. So this is the so-called long-term goals. Okay, so what do you need, for example, for your SMART goals, for your personal? So what do you need, for example, a laptop and what brand? For example, a MacBook Air 2018 and how much does it cost? And when can you acquire it? So let's say if you cannot buy it in 6 to 12 months, then it should fall into the medium term goals, which is 24 months from now. Then another goal for your family is a family vacation. And how long do you want it to spend with your family? Let's say for 7 days in Hong Kong Disneyland, how much does it cost? If it costs 15,000 or 20,000 per person, and there are four of you, let's say for 20,000, you have to spend 80,000 for 4 persons. And when do you want to plan it? And when do you want to take the vacation? So let's say, can you do it at the end of this year? So that can be your short-term goal, or it can be your medium-term goals because this is more expensive than acquiring a MacBook Air. But being with a family is different with having a goal for yourself. And next is career or business. And you wanted a stable client with 40 hours per month, 24 stable clients in December 2020. Can you do that until the end of this year? So let's say it's just a short-term goal or a medium-term goal. And how much does it cost? How much is your rate? So for $10 per hour, you should be subcontracted to another VAs. So when do you want to start? Starting month 3 of extensive marketing. So these are the examples of SMART goals. Okay, for your annual plan, create an editable calendar. Like the Calendly, I have in our module 1, I have um, given an example on how to create a Calendly account. So you may um, input those plans in the calendar. Create an editable calendar, create milestones, small achievable goals, and you have to set timeline. Map out the steps you're going to hit your milestones and mark your progress. Do rinse and repeat. So next is you have to do a task for yourself. Like um, you have to rate it like your to do work in progress or done. You have to create a checklist on the progress of your task. So first, you have to set up your skills and passion. Then the actual versus the ideal budget. The SMART goals costing linked to sample tasks. The annual plan linked to sample tasks. Okay, so that's it for today. And our next video is about how to do the task and how you will actually record your SMART goals.